2023 was probably one of the worst years I've had in a long time, and I'm not the only one. Hello everyone, I'm Jeff Standley with Standley Handcrafted, and today we're going to talk about 2023, and I know I'm a couple weeks late on this one, but honestly, that speaks volumes to what 2023 had to offer for not only myself, but kind of candle making in general. Now, I know everybody likes to do kind of a year-end wrap-up, what they did, what they didn't do. That's kind of going to be what this video is about. And then, of course, the next video, I'm going to talk about 2024 and kind of how I'm going to rebound from 2023 and what the plan is going forward. But before we do that one, here is 2023. So I'd say probably about a year and a half ago, I knew that 2023 was kind of going to be not a great year. And I was absolutely right on that one. It turned out to be even much worse than I thought it was going to be. And I'm not going to say that's the same for every maker that's out there. I know a lot of people who did very well in 2023. So absolutely congrats on them. There were a lot of things that I could have done to make 2023 better. But for me, overall, 2023 was probably, I think we were down probably almost 50% year over year as far as revenue and everything that we did from 2022. And that's a huge drop. Now, there are, of course, a lot of factors that went into that one. And one of the biggest ones, aside from the economy kind of slipping a little bit, was the fact that we got out of the warehouse, the boutique, and basically everything with that took a huge toll and was probably the main driver for the biggest drop that we had. And for anybody that missed that video, we got out of the boutique warehouse probably around like March. It took several months to get out of there, so it was a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. That took a huge hit on revenue and inventory and stock and getting stuff out, shipping times. I mean, you name it, it took a toll on absolutely everything, and it was felt throughout the entire year. And of course, that and everything that happened with that one is definitely going to fuel and kind of restructure what I do in 2024. But like I said, that's in the next video. So for me, I knew that 2023, like I said, was going to be a little bit of a bad year because I noticed the previous year, it would be the end of 2021. I noticed sales started to dip right around like October, November, December, especially when they should have been up. So coming into 2023, I could already start to see the decline of certain things. And I was talking to other makers, other vendors, and other suppliers out there, and they were kind of seeing the same thing. So I knew going into 2023 that I knew I wanted to get out of the warehouse and the lease. Like I said in a previous video, it was way more than we kind of anticipated. It also wasn't the best location, but we knew this stuff going into it. So I started to make the plan to get out of that one, which I turned out to be right on, because within 3, 4, 5 months, you could absolutely see that decline of 2023 getting worse. And then of course, the worst part about getting out of the warehouse and the boutique is it slowed down absolutely everything. It was almost impossible to keep up with inventory, getting stuff shipped out, anything like that. And a lot of people felt it. And then to pile on top of getting out of the warehouse and the financial kind of hit from that one, getting out of that, paying the rest of the lease off, was dealing with different vendors, getting stuff in. A lot of people were really starting to hold back. So anything that we were trying to do as far as getting more stuff in was getting a lot more difficult because a lot of people were really tightening the purse strings. And like I said, it was just getting more difficult to get stuff in. And you can still see the effects of that today with more suppliers starting to hold back a little bit. Anybody that's paying attention in the Facebook groups or anybody that's paying attention to just the various suppliers that are out there, you can see inventory kind of shrinking a little bit across all sites. So it's definitely not something that I'm just feeling by myself. But seeing all those things, it definitely makes me kind of rethink how to approach 2024, what to go after in 2024, and what to focus more on. And speaking of focusing on things going forward, the videos are one of those things that also fell off in the last year just because there was so much going on. I couldn't keep up with the videos. And honestly, this is why all this stuff started, is because of the videos. It's definitely one of my favorite things. This is one of the things I really want to focus on in 2024 and shift away from some of the stuff that I either just can't do anymore, don't have room for, don't have time for, which of course is going to be some of the inventory that we carry. But for those that do like the inventory and everything like that, all the LCS stuff is going to be going to more suppliers this year. So definitely don't worry about that. Anything that we currently sell, ship, even if it's out of stock, that stuff will be coming back, and it will be available to more suppliers, which I know a lot of people are very happy with. And then, of course, some of the other things that I really like to do that fell off in the last year are things like candle care cards, the books, the ebooks. So things like this, we have just started to get back in. So we're doing a lot more to focus on stuff like that. And then, of course, the candle journals. So as we start to kind of phase out some of the other supplies, like a lot of the vessels that we were doing, some of the waxes, those are going to be going to different suppliers. A lot of this stuff will start to come back in. And honestly, for me, this stuff is a lot easier to handle, to deal with, especially since it's mostly a one-man operation. Getting out of the warehouse, getting out of the boutique, and going down to basically just 1 or 2 employees, mostly 1 employee, a lot of the supplies and everything just don't make sense, especially right now. Some of that is economy driven and some of that is actually just health driven. Like I've mentioned in previous videos, with some of the health stuff I went through in the last couple of years, and I've mentioned it in previous videos if you want to go back and watch that one, just me getting around as much, doing a lot of that kind of manual labor. I still can't breathe as well as I should have, or I can't breathe as well as I used to, which a lot of that stuff is being fixed right now. So honestly, trying to really focus more on health, getting back to the stuff that I like to do, which again, like I said, are the videos, the ebooks, the candle cards, stuff like that. And quite honestly, just restructuring this, because handling this by myself, it would definitely grew and it definitely bit off more than I could chew, especially with 1, 2, or 3 people helping at a time. I think a lot of this stuff will definitely make for a better 2024. Like I said, 2023, I mentioned in the beginning of the video, things were down probably a good 50%. I know for the main supply site, everything was down 50% year over year, which is absolutely huge. But again, there were a lot of things I could have done to make those sales a lot better. There were a lot of things that we held off on, a lot of things that we didn't push as hard as we could, just because we needed to slow it down. It was going way too fast, and we had to pull it back a little bit so that we could restructure, get out of the warehouse, planning that move, which was, like I said in the beginning, way more involved than I thought it was going to be. Moving tens of thousands of pieces of inventory with 4 or 5, sometimes 6 people is an absolute nightmare. But like I said, a lot of this stuff is going to put us into a much better position going into 2024. So I'm definitely looking forward to 2024. And I will be making a full video on that one, talking about where we're going, what is actually going to happen, and kind of what our focus is going to be moving forward. So I'm sorry the video is such a downer. Definitely not what I was going for, but when you're in business, sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down. And I try to get the videos to portray exactly what we're going through. So aside from my 2023, how was your 2023? Did you end up better than you thought you would, or did the economy kind of take its toll on you? I know the responses in the Facebook group go back and forth, but it definitely weighs a little bit more towards being a down year for a lot of people. So I would love to hear what you think in the comment section down below. And of course, we'll see you in the next video where I talk about 2024 and all positive moving forward.